All right. Welcome back to another Variety of Life podcast. I know it's been a long time since I've made one. Just want to get back in the swing of things. I'm here with a very special guest today. Gonna be one of my favorites, my mother. Hello, how are you?
Yay! Good. How are you?
Doing very well. Not so busy anymore. Finally got finished with the finals.
Oh, that's good.
I just wanted to talk about Christmas, obviously, since it's December, Christmas time. What it's like from my perspective, teenager, versus your perspective, parent.
Okay. What questions do you have for me?
First of all, buying presents. What is it like to buy a present for a kid who's growing up?
Who's growing up?
Yeah,
Um,
because obviously you've been buying presents for me ever since I was a baby.
from from a parent perspective, at least from mine, I think it's challenging but fun. A lot of times you know your kid really well, so there's too many things that you want to pick, and sometimes thankfully you guys were never the kind of kids that like begged for things or expensive things, so that was helpful. But then when there were special things that I know you guys would have wanted, if they were too much, that was hard to try to figure that out. Takes a lot of planning, and sometimes the things are in high demand, so then you have to go out and search for them and stand in lines
The Legos.
really late. Legos, yeah.
Yeah, Legos was a massive thing. For a
Yeah.
kid, I think it's very hard for or to get a present for your parent because you really don't know what to get them unless they talk about it. And then how do you get the means to get them? So until you start getting jobs or you start getting some kind of income, you can't really get a present. So what do? You want to make a present. And then you want to have it like good enough where the parent is gonna like actually enjoy having it.
I
So
think for
it's
us, it's more of that you have thought of it to begin with. It doesn't have to be something that you went out and spent a bunch of money on. We like homemade things. I always liked when you guys did that. I know
right.
other parents feel the same. Yeah.
Well, there's definitely that pressure for both sides of finding the right present and then budget. Because if I was watching this thing yesterday about presents, and they were saying, well, if you get a present that's so expensive, that kind of puts pressure on the other person to like, oh, well, I spent $20 and you spent like 100. It's gonna look silly.
Well, I guess it depends on what kind of person that is. Because
Yeah.
not everyone feels that way.
But I definitely
And
do
I don't
think
think
there's a pressure with gift buying.
there is. It does put a lot of stress if you lose sight, you start to get focused in on those things, and you lose sight of what Christmas is really about.
Right.
But it is easy too. I mean, when you guys were young, there were certain things that I would go out on the shopping nights and be in a line like 1 a.m. There was one time I was in a line at Toys R Us at like 1 or 2 in the morning, in this huge line that went all the way to the back of the store to
Oh
get
wow.
a couple in high demand things that every kid was asking for. And so, yeah. And there's, it's not like, for me anyhow, I'm a planner, so I don't wait till the last minute. I pay attention to things that I know you care about or that you like. Since we didn't do a lot of things during the year, like we didn't constantly buy things during the year, I wanted to get this few special things for Christmas. So I tried to make that happen. But it is pressure, you're right. And it does take a lot of focus and time.
Right. There's the people like you, the planners who all throughout the year are paying attention, and then there are the people who shop in like last 2 weeks or something. And then
Right.
there's crazy I know you've done this too, but they're like people who are crazy advanced in it where they get stuff years ahead and they know their kid is still gonna like it. I don't know how you do it.
I have done that, yeah, but those are those are things that you know for sure that are like kind of like toy staples that you know your kid's gonna like. Even in a few years, they're still gonna be into it, or something that's really common, and you get it on like a really good discount, um, and you save it aside. And for me, I get excited, especially when you guys were young. When I would get something, it's really hard for me to wait to give it to you because
Yes.
you like the best thing ever is getting excited about you guys being excited when you open them. That's really cool. So,
It's just
yeah,
always about finding that one present that you know they're gonna enjoy, and you can't wait to see their reaction for it.
yeah, definitely.
I've definitely had presents for you and Dad when it's just like, I can't wait for them to open it. I wish I could just give it to them now.
Yeah.
Like the silverware set. I had that for a long time.
Oh, yeah. The vintage silverware set, which I really, really like.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were good at hiding that
Eh, When I first
and
got
not
it,
saying anything about
it
it.
was
Yeah.
really close to getting caught. I had to like hide it outside for one night.
Oh, no.
So I just
Glad
had it
you
in my
didn't tell
I had
me
it in my
that.
backpack hiding outside.
Oh my gosh.
And like I had it wasn't just one night, it was like a night and the rest of the day because I had to wait until you were going somewhere.
I feel like you could have just brought it in. There's plenty of things you
There's
could
no
have
way I
done
could
with
have
it.
hid that because when I was leaving the place where I got it from, everything came out of where about like you know
Oh,
how it had
out of,
those little
yeah.
slots for it. It was so noisy because everything fell out of that.
Okay.
So I couldn't just walk in with it. It would have been banging around. And what was I gonna say? Oh, I have a very, very important question.
Okay.
What are you getting me for Christmas?
Right. I'm gonna tell you. Then
Exactly.
I'll
It's on the
ruin
podcast.
the.
You have to.
No.
Legally.
They will be in a mystery until you can fill them
Man. You know I sit in front of all the boxes.
in.
I can go through them and you'll never know.
I will know. Moms know.
Oh no.
Oh, we definitely do.
I'll just have to remember exactly how the boxes are stacked so I can put them back.
Oh my.
It's like a game of Jenga. So what about Christmas season? Because obviously for kids and for me, it's like you look forward to it all year. But I could definitely imagine how stressful it is for parents and for you because you have to actually plan everything. The kids just kind of live and go through it.
I guess it depends on the person. For me, it it does add some stress because usually there's other things happening at the same time, and then you're trying to juggle everything. And then it just kind of happens really fast. You think you have time, but then it's all of a sudden here. If you're just talking about, things like getting things for your kids and family, but it's a lot of time and planning and research and all of those things, but you want to do it, so it's not like a burden or anything. And hopefully we've taught you guys that Christmas isn't just about presents. You guys know that.
Yeah.
So,
I actually wanted to say something about that after you're done talking.
yeah.
Because a lot of,
So,
sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, so if there's things that you guys weren't hopeful for, which, like I said, thankfully you guys were never the kinds of kids that were, I want, I want. You never have been. So, in fact, there's many years I would say, what do you guys want? And you would say, it doesn't matter, nothing, it's okay, And so knowing that, that makes it
Right. I think this year is the
definitely a little
first
easier.
year in a long time that I've actually said, you know what, I do want something.
Yeah,
But a lot of
that's true.
people
Yeah.
just think about Christmas as, oh, I've got to get this gift for my friend, my parents, my significant other.
Hmm.
It's time for the ads and everything commercialized. But you have to slow down and remember that it's not about giving gifts, it's about the birth of Christ. And every year I
Which is the
remember
ultimate gift.
my favorite verse. John 3:16, For God so loved the world, he gave his only begotten Son, and whosoever shall believe in him shall not perish, but have everlasting life. And that's what Christmas is to me. It's the embodiment of that verse. It's God coming into this world and saying, hey, you're fine now.
Yeah.
You just slow down and remember that.
Well, we try to make sure that that's definitely part of Christmas, but you do get caught up in the world's version of what is expected and what should be. And you do want some of that, that is a little bit as far as like giving to your
Yeah,
family.
it's
You do
definitely
want to
fun.
do that.
It's something that
Yeah.
makes you
And
feel good.
but there is definite merit to when the world is making it like a must and you're trying to say, oh gosh, I don't have this, but I've got to do this because, that's what we're supposed to do, or their friend's going to have it, or whatever. That does put pressure on parents in that way. And then you just have to be thankful that your kids are not like that, and that you know the true meaning of Christmas, and that's really the most important thing. So then you just come back to reality.
Yeah. You get so caught up in the Christmas movies, the music, the lights, going out at 1 a.m. or 2 a.m. to buying a gift for your kids, buy a gift
Yeah.
for someone you know. But it's so relaxing to me to just sit down and just think about what is actually happening, what it
Hmm.
actually means.
Yeah, definitely.
And it would be really nice to just, sit around a campfire, sit with your family at a movie, and just talk about it.
Yeah, I agree.
One of my favorite things to do is just talk to people, and during the holidays, I would love to just slow down and do that with people. That's one of the reasons why I like the podcast so much, so I can just sit down and talk to somebody I know.
Yeah.
So, about same topic as talking, do you have any funny stories around the holidays?
Gosh, yeah, I'm sure I do, but now if you put me on the spot and I can be able to remember them.
I love putting people on the spot because they just forget everything.
I told you I needed an advanced questionnaire so I could like prepare my mind mentally for any pop-up questions that might happen.
All right, what about
Um,
a topic for a story? What about cooking? Because I know you've done most of the cooking as I was growing up. Has there been any times where something almost went horribly wrong?
I can't hear you.
Can you hear me?
Oh,
Shit.
yes, I can now.
Okay. So I was saying, because you've done most of the cooking as I was growing up, has there been any times where something almost went horribly wrong for a recipe or last minute?
Oh, I think I know what you're hinting at. So every year we get brown and serve rolls just to have with a dinner, Thanksgiving, Christmas, things like that. And I don't know what it is, but there's something about me and bread. If I buy bread in the grocery, I even did it today. If I buy bread, it's always in the bottom of the cart. I don't know why. Everything's on top of it. I put it in the trunk first and everything goes on top of it, so it's smushed bread. And on the holidays, I forget that I have the rolls, and then when I finally remember them, I put them at the last minute, and then I forget that they're in there, and then they're burnt. So it's like a family joke
It's a
about
holiday
don't burn the
tradition.
rolls. Yeah, now it's like this tradition of the
So you have
bread's going to be
all
burnt.
this great
But
food, and then you eat it with burnt rolls, and it tastes better.
I've gotten slightly better now. I have many people to remind me. I don't know what it is about the bread, but that is definitely true.
All you gotta do is buy it on Amazon. Pre-cooked rolls.
Already cooked.
Oh, talk about Amazon. I wanted to say something about it for buying gifts. Because before, buying stuff online was like, it would take forever, and then holiday rush, phew, good luck.
Yeah.
But now you wouldn't even need to like stand in line or wait for something to become available in store. You just go on Amazon, click a few buttons, and you have it at your door the next day.
So that's true. When you were younger, um, there wasn't really, I mean, we had online obviously, but it was really kind of not a thing like it is now,
Yeah, you
where
have
you
like
just go
eBay
and
and stuff, but
shop.
it would take a month for it to ship.
Yeah. And so, you really had to be out in the stores, shopping from place to place looking for the things you need, and then somebody would be out and you have to go to the next store. And you're right. Like things like that, that's convenient. That's made it, I guess, less pressure in some ways for people that do that. And you can just look online for things and then it comes to you. And Amazon's one of the the biggest examples of that because you can get it in just a day or two, sometimes the same day. It's crazy.
Yeah, it is. It's like before you're looking for something, you get it, and like a month later, you almost forgot about it and it arrives at your door. And now you're just looking on Amazon, like you click order. Maybe if you're lucky, a couple hours later it comes. You can try it out. If you don't like it, you send it back.
Yep.
It's crazy now how the digital age is. And even for like, what is it? They have Cyber Monday now
Yes, that's
and
right.
Black Friday. It was a,
Yep.
you know, it was how it was a joke about Black Friday kept getting earlier and earlier. And
Yes.
then with the addition of Cyber Monday, Black Friday is like a whole week or something now.
It is. And now, yeah, and they even do it ahead of time. They call everything Black Friday and they have it like leading up to it. And what really stunk was I didn't care that for that the fact that they did the Black Friday and people had to work right after they just had, dinner with their families and then you have to go straight to work. But they would make it where if you had several children and you were trying to get certain things and there was certain things that were like the top things that they would have liked or whatever, and then those were the things that were like so discounted on Black Friday, you almost had to go because otherwise you wouldn't be able to afford it, period.
Yeah.
So that's what I didn't care for those. And so there came a point though when you guys got a little bit older that I was so happy because I said I don't care what's there in the paper for Black Friday. I'm not even looking. But when you guys were younger, there was one or two, high demand things that I knew the only way I was going to be able to afford them is to go out and get them. One example was the Disney. Gosh, it's a game. I don't remember the name of it. It had those little characters. You
Was it
put them on that
Skylanders?
little. Yes, Skylanders. So that one was at a Black Friday at Walmart, and and the thing about that store is that they had time limits. So this from this hour to this hour was this on sale, and this so almost you had to be there the whole night
Yeah.
to wait to get the thing. And so that one I just left out. I have no idea. I was put in the wrong spot, and instead of it being $90, they had it for $29.99.
Oh
That's an
wow.
example. Yeah. And so, but the of course the catch is you've got to be there at the right time at 2 a.m. And for that, somebody had put it down in the sporting goods section, and I had no idea. And that was the other thing. They had it arranged in areas where things weren't normally at. Like if they were videos, they were in the frozen food section. It was just so
Almost like a
convenient. So you had a
treasure
map.
hunt.
It was so, yes, it was so crazy. And that one, it was just tucked into the wrong area. I don't know if somebody just put it down and nobody wanted it. And I made sure in the line, is this anybody's? Because I was like, whoa, I can't believe I lucked out. Here it is. And nope, I got it. So,
It's
but
gonna
yeah,
turn
that
out
was
like the
crazy.
Christmas with the Cranks. You're racing somebody for the last one.
Yes, that's what that might be why that I love that Christmas movie because I can relate to it. And people would get really nasty. I felt like I just don't care that much. I don't need this. It's just, you know, you
People
get
take
caught
it
up in
so
it, but
seriously. It's like
I know, but
what is the movie? Jingle All the Way, where they were waiting in line
yes,
and then a big fight breaks out.
yep. When they realize everyone's nice until they realize it's the last one, and then and there's been lots of stories where people will take things right out of your cart, um, or fight you for it, or thankfully I never really encountered that myself. I'd seen it, but no one ever did that. So I would have just said, "Here you go. I'm just not that important to me."
Yeah, people
But
are just crazy. I would be afraid
well,
to
you
go out
are out there
shopping at
trying
that
to
time.
what?
I would be afraid to go out shopping knowing people are doing that.
There was that because it's um, really crowded. You can't find a place to park, and there are a lot of people that have that attitude, going in. But there's some people that aren't, and they're purposely trying to be kind and everything so that stuff like that won't happen. There's a lot of stories in the news where people got stampeded on Black Fridays and killed. Like
Yeah, I've
that's
heard
just
about those.
insane. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just people are crazy. I'm both glad and kind of disappointed about the online stuff. I'm very
Hmm.
glad because less people are getting hurt from it, but kind of disappointed because it's just pushing everything to be online more and less actual social interaction.
Definitely. Well, that's interesting that you say that because that was always a concern for like those of us that didn't grow up in this digital age. Um, we, you know, all of you are more used to it, but to us, we feel like that's just constant personal interaction is lessening. And I know there's a lot more now with it than there was when it first started, but still, you are taking that aspect out more and more.
Yeah, I definitely feel like growing up the way I did, where even though you had me actually, interacting with people and going out places, just the fact that I've been able to be on the computer growing up,
Hmm.
it's caused me to be less, what's the word? I'm more socially inept where if I go out, I'll be able to what's the word? I can't think of it. For lack of a better word, just unable to interact with people properly. But
Engage with people.
engage, right?
Well,
But I
well,
still
first
try
of
to
all,
as much as I can if I go out because
yeah,
I enjoy talking to people and interacting with them.
yeah. Everybody has different personalities, and that is your personality, so that is a plus for you. Also, I made sure not to have you guys be on the computer at a very young age, so
Right. I'm
and
very
had you engaging with people and social situations. So,
I am very glad about that because I remember when we first got a DS.
hmm.
What
Oh
age
yeah,
was I? I don't know. I was so happy to get the DS, but
yes,
looking
yeah.
back
You
at it,
guys were older compared
I'm
to
so
yeah.
glad that you waited because I knew kids who like had iPhones and like years before I got the DS. I knew kids who
Yeah,
had like
I know.
iPhones and like you would play on the computer all the time and I don't know, they
Yeah.
just like growing up when we went outside, I noticed kids started to not come outside because they were playing computer games. And I'm like,
Hmm.
man, that stinks. I want to play with them. But
Yes.
what can you do?
Yeah.
But now it's almost like if you're outside, you're the weird one. Where before it's like if you just stayed inside to play games, that was weird.
It's true. Yeah, years and years ago when I was teaching, they had we had well, you know, but for listeners, we had something that we did outside in the woods, and one of my first questions to the kids was how many of you've been outside and to walk in the woods? How many of you go outside to play? And there'd be like one child that would raise their hand, and then I would ask them how many kids have gone through the woods, and there wouldn't be anyone. So that was shocking to me. And so it was just unusual to me because that's how we grew up. We played outside, we walked in the woods, we hiked, just went outside and rode our bikes and all of those things. And that just isn't the same anymore.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Even when I was growing up, it was there were still some kids who went outside, like some kids in the neighborhood. But me and my brother, for the listeners, we would go outside a lot, and there was woods near our house. We'd constantly be running through it and going around it, and like what is it called? We'd get stuff to, like brush on our legs, and we'd get cuts all over, and it was just fun. It was just stimulating to go out and just enjoy yourself in nature and be able to just imagine you're doing stuff instead of, hey, look, you're sitting screen. Here's what's happening. No, you
Right.
were able to go outside and do whatever you wanted.
Yeah, and use your imagination and be out in the fresh air and the sunshine and all of those things. I don't think people realize how important they are, and they are. They're important. You're you're using your brain in a different way with computers and games, but you've got to use your brain
It's
to
definitely a
me.
good thing using your
Yeah.
brain in the ways of computers and learning a
Mhm.
different skill, learning how to play a game. It can teach commitment and focus, but it's just a very, very different thing than going outside and picking up a physical skill or
Right.
imagining you're in a far off land doing whatever. They're two very different things, but they are both very important in my opinion, just in moderation.
Yeah.
Like during this break, I've tried to pick up bike riding again because I don't I want to keep myself in shape even though in this age I'm being inside more and more. I don't want to be the person who goes outside to like what is it? Do something and I'm just unable to keep up with people.
Yeah, your stamina, and you don't really build stamina if you're sitting at a computer game. But I know that's a popular thing now, and I understand that. It's just a different generation than me. I'd rather be outside doing things. But you're right, there are some skills to be had or things to be learned from doing different things on the computer. But being outside, your stamina, your strength, your muscle tone, all of those things, the vitamin D, your body, it's a hormone that your body needs. Like all of those things are important to me, more important. But I know you've got to learn computer skills nowadays too.
Right.
And I do
And
know for the DS, that was a Christmas thing. I was very excited to get you because I know a lot of the people, your friends, had had them for quite a while. I think they were on like the third version. And
yeah.
you guys were so happy with just getting the regular DS, and I was super excited to be able to get those for you and your brother
I
at the
remember
same time.
I remember
So
one specific game. I would play for like after I finished my school, I would just sit there and what is it called? It was like a dinosaur game, turn-based fighter, where you would like you could mine for fossils whenever, and I would just sit there for hours mining and then cleaning the fossils.
I remember that. Yeah,
It
that's
was so
funny.
much fun. It might have been called Fossil Fighters. Whatever. It was a
Yeah,
really
I
great
don't
game.
remember, but I do remember getting that game with the dinosaurs. You cleaned fossils and like
It was a really funny
paleontologists.
story. It was kind of Pokemon-esque in the way it went and had like these outlandish cartoon villains and everything.
Yeah,
That was fun, but I'd say it's not as fun to me as being outside and like I really like staying in shape because not I don't want to be like a bodybuilder who's constantly just like, "Oh yeah, man, you got to get this new protein shake. It's like the best, whatever." But I enjoy being in shape. It's just a different feeling than just being healthy. Like you can be healthy.
yeah,
Like you can be healthy and then being in shape is a lot different. But
definitely is. Yeah, healthy is. Um, People don't realize that that's keeping your body moving too, not just eating the right food. You've got to do more than that.
yeah. Well, this has been a fun episode, and I'm sorry to cut it short to listeners, although there's probably one. I'm sorry to cut it short, but it is the holiday season. We have stuff to do, and thanks for coming on. I definitely want to have you on again.
Thanks for having me. It was fun. I always like talking to you anyway. Now we just did it officially.
Official talking. Now we can legally say we've had a conversation.
Right? It's recorded, so it's real.
Yes, unless it's fake. It could be AI. They'd never know.
And yet it's not.
All right, thank you for coming on. This has been I don't know, I've lost track of the episodes. I haven't I haven't looked. This has been another episode of the Variety of Life podcast where I just sit down and talk with people I like. Thanks for watching. Adios.
Bye.